Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comics to buy. And today, guys, we're talking about the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 793. That's right, guys, this is Venom Inc. part number 4. Now, I feel like the Venom Inc. issues are not as impactful in the actual Venom series, but they're written better in the Amazing Spider-Man series. So I was really looking forward for this particular issue. The book is written by Dan Slott and Mike Costa. The artwork is done by Ryan Stegman here. Artwork looks really well done in this particular issue, especially when you see this unfriendly neighborhood Spider-Man, right? He's very dark. He's got like this mask on him, you know, the Venom symbiote mask. And it's almost like I would have loved to seen him more like this in Superior Spider-Man than in Doc Ock's personality. That would have been a lot better. But you get to see all of Lee Price's goons here possessed by the symbiote, and they all look good. One of the things that really stood out for me was Mania. I thought she looked really well done as well, as you can see her here. And I also loved how a lot of this book takes place in the outside setting during winter with all the snow. For some reason, it just fit this time of year, and there's this crazy battle going on. It's just a lot of that extra detail that you appreciate the artist putting in the book when they're doing these types of scenes. So I really appreciated that. So let's talk about the story a little bit. So what happens in the last part is that we see Spidey and Flash, they wind up getting captured, but Black Cat breaks Lee Price's trance, winds up giving the symbiote back to Eddie Brock. He is now Venom once again. So this book winds up opening up as you wind up seeing Spidey in the shadows. And you're thinking that he's going to help somebody, but he doesn't. He winds up kicking people's ass to the point where they almost die. And he's got this very sarcastic type of personality, but it's an evil kind as well. And, you know, he beats the crap out of people. He takes a truck. He honks a horn. He's like, he's like, I always wanted to do that. And he's just stealing stuff for Lee Price. Also, on the other side of things, you get to see Lee Price and his little Venom symbiote goons take anti-Venom. And they've been torturing him, but nothing's been working. So they're going to put him in where they're going to burn him to ashes. And just as that's about to happen, you know, Lee Price feels this presence, and he can't make out what it is. But literally we find out that it is Mania. And we wind up finding out, obviously, she doesn't have her symbiote because Lee Price has it, but she still has her powers, her Hellstrom powers. And so she uses those powers to free Flash, which was really cool. And it's cool how these guys have a relationship, and when she thinks that he has actually died, she's very emotional about it. Now, what it would have been a lot more impactful here is that if you saw these two have a closer relationship or develop their relationship in previous comics, where you've only seen a couple of issues of them develop that relationship. And so as a reader, as you know, as it's a good attempt here to capture an emotional moment, it doesn't quite hit home for me because these two haven't been together in the comic for so long. But it was a good attempt, and I see where they're going here. We wind up seeing that Black Cat, she winds up teaming up with Eddie Brock so they can try to stop Lee Price, and so they go to that professor to try to get some of that anti-venom serum because they know they're going to need that because that's what stops Lee Price. So we find out the real reason, obviously, why Spidey is stealing all these actual these trucks and all these merchandise is to obviously get out Black Cat to stop her because she's involved with these 5 families and whatnot. So what happens in the issue is we wind up seeing Spider-Man. He goes to the Daily Bugle. He wants to be put front and center and front page and whatnot. And he has great interactions with Betty Brant in here as well. And then we see this fight between Eddie and Peter. And there's some good emotional moments here between the two characters, especially when obviously when symbiote Spidey sits there and tells Flash, you're just a dumb jock. And, you know, that really hits Flash. But, you know, he sits there and says, oh, you know, I know that's not you talking, Spidey. And that was an emotional moment, you know, knowing the type of relationship that these two have. So we see this big battle. Really cool to see Venom and Black Cat actually team up. We see, finally, it seems like Dan Slott getting redemption, you know, letting go of maybe a little bit of the Black Cat situation where she's not so crime boss, or she's starting to get away from it as she teams up with Venom, and she finally gets her revenge on Spider-Man as she whips him in the face with the anti-venom, releases the black symbiote control, and she pins him to the floor with her boot, and, you know, and Spidey's like, oh, you're enjoying this a little bit too much, you know, aren't you? And it feels like at that point and moment that she got her revenge from Superior Spider-Man, and it might feel like she could be on the right side of things, you know? She might be the good character, but maybe on that gray side, which I like her on, not some crime lord boss. And so she explains to everybody, you know, why is Lee Price after these 5 families? And these 5 families are very powerful, like mafia gang. They're all over the world and they're at truce. And she actually had a part in this family. And now Lee Price is going to take over this family to obviously be the crime lord boss, ruler of the world, I guess. And he takes over all the staff. And that's how the actual book ends towards the end of the issue. So it was pretty cool. Overall, what did I think about the book? I thought it was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, Lee Price is maybe not my favorite character, but, you know, he's been making for a pretty good Venom. And the more I've been reading him, the more I've enjoyed him. He's much more of an enjoyable character in the Amazing Spider-Man issues than he is in the Venom issues. And then, obviously, when he has his Venom symbiote. And I like his motive here because he's just trying to take off the underground crime scene, you know, and he's not trying to take over the entire world. So that's pretty cool. I love seeing Spidey as this crazy symbiote, you know, possessed by Lee Price, and he's just real sarcastic, and he's got that crazy humor. And I love the emotional moment here between evil Spidey and Flash, and, you know, how those comments really hurt Flash. And I can appreciate the emotional moment between Flash and Mania as well, on those, on trying to, you know, get the reader to feel something for those two characters. Really good emotion there artistically by Ryan Stegman. So this was a really good book as well. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Guys, in the comments below, tell me what you thought of The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 793. Are you a fan or are you not a fan? Is Lee Price growing on you a little bit? And what do you think of issue number 800 that's coming out soon? Who would you like as a reader? As a writer of the book, if Dan Slott leaves? And do you think Mary Jane and Peter should be married once again, as that's rumored? So again, guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. Until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider signing off. Take care, guys. Bye.